Chapter 19. Quality as a Salesman. Integrity is the foundation of mutual confidence. Never misrepresent your goods. When it becomes necessary to do so, it's time to quit the business. A.J. Lawver, general manager of Burroughs Adding Machine, says, "The ideal salesperson is one making an honest, determined effort to provide real service to customers. He fully believes in his product's value and trusts the integrity and ability of his company. Unshakable confidence in what you sell multiplies your selling power, just as doubt shrinks it. All your mental faculties perform best when fueled by genuine faith in your firm and product, sparking enthusiasm. Experienced buyers sense your belief or lack of it instantly. Whatever crosses your mind flashes to theirs. They feel your true conviction. If doubt lingers, no words can hide it. They quickly detect if you truly believe the product benefits them or if you're just pushing for a sale. Knowing you represent a rock-solid firm and offer something truly superior, not just advantageous to sell, but for them to buy, boosts your self-assurance. It adds dignity, power, and conviction to your presence and pitch. Conversely, pushing shams you know hold little value strips your power. Realizing you're deceiving rather than helping makes you feel and appear contemptible to sharp prospects who see through you. Nothing replaces confidence in your product's quality. Quality itself is the world's best salesperson. A product slightly better than competitors, even at a higher price, seeds repeat sales through satisfied customers who return. You stand taller knowing you offer the best. No one can undercut true quality. You skip tricks of the trade, approach prospects head high, backed by zero risk of complaints or returns. Superior quality, like fine food, leaves a great aftertaste. Salespeople dealing in the best know buyers welcome them back for more. A firm's reputation for fair dealing acts as a powerful salesperson. Its representatives hold a huge edge over those from shady outfits, where buyers must haggle sharply or risk getting fleeced anyway. Quality is the ultimate advertisement. Salespeople from trusted firms sell easier. They talk less, convince faster. A stellar reputation is a salesperson's strongest argument. Persuading buyers of proven excellence is simple. Once accustomed to the best, customers reject anything less. Only top quality satisfies. International sales experts note American salespeople often falter abroad, like in South America, by overemphasizing price while glossing quality. Stressing cheapness implies low-grade goods. No matter the pressure, never sell questionable products. Never stain your reputation or character by representing a dishonest firm. Resolve to stay high class or nothing. No cheap methods, shabby goods, or low-end commodities. Never lie for pay, deceive for a salary, or do anything that diminishes your self-respect. Chapter 20. A Salesman's Clothes. The consciousness of being well and fittingly dressed has a magic power in unlocking the tongue and boosting the power of expression. In differentiating the essentials of success in selling, a specialty expert said, "I find that when I am in prime physical condition and well-dressed, so that I do not have to think about myself or my clothing, I can put up a much better presentation, because I can concentrate my mind with greater force." In a letter to his home office, a rising young salesperson wrote, "To me there is a great mystery in the influence of good clothes. Somehow I think more of myself when I am conscious that I am well-groomed, well-dressed, and I can approach people with much more confidence. When I first started canvassing, I tried to economize too much on my clothing. Some stormy mornings I would start out wearing shabby old clothes and without fixing up as I should, and somehow I felt cheap all day. I could not approach a prospect with the same air of victory. I did not feel quite right. I could not put up as good a canvas and, of course, did not make as many sales as when I was up to the mark in clothes and general appearance. I thought at first I could not afford to dress well, but I soon found that this was a very great mistake, and that a good appearance is a big asset in canvassing. I was going through college then, and as I had to pay all of my expenses, $1 meant a good deal to me. But I actually borrowed money to buy a good suit of clothes, and I found it paid. I felt better when I had that suit on. I could take more orders, and in a short time returned the amount I had borrowed. This influence of good clothes is a curious thing, but it is certainly a power. Whatever one's business, it is worth finding the sweet spot for your clothes' cost. You cannot afford to go much below or above this point. In some cases, it pays to dress superbly, right up to the mark in every detail, because people judge our business standing by our appearance, and we cannot afford to give the impression of poverty, especially if we represent a prosperous line. If a person's appearance signals lack of prosperity, people naturally form a poor impression not only of their own success, but also of the quality and success of the firm they represent. A.T. Stewart was one of the first great merchants to appreciate the tremendous influence upon customers, especially women customers, of good-looking, well-dressed young men clerks. He would not employ a clerk who did not present an attractive appearance. He knew the importance of putting up a good front as an asset. He did not care much for human diamonds in the rough. He preferred a cheaper stone, polished, to a pure gem, unpolished. Every progressive merchant knows that a first unfavorable impression on a customer is costly. He knows that a soiled collar or cuffs, a frayed tie, unpolished shoes, uncared for fingernails, grease spots on a suit will not only make a bad impression, but will drive away trade. Most large business houses make it a rule not to employ anyone who looks shabby or careless, who does not at least try to make a good appearance, the best his means will permit, when he applies for a position. Neatness of dress, cleanliness of person, and the manner of the applicant are the first things an employer notices in a would-be employee. If his clothes are unbrushed, his trousers baggy, his shoes unpolished, his tie shabby, his hands soiled, or his hair unkempt, the employer is prejudiced at once, and he does not look beneath this repellent exterior to see whether it conceals merit or not. He is a busy man and assumes that if the youth has anything in him, if he is made of the material business people want, he will keep himself presentable. At all events, he does not want such an unattractive person around his premises. You may say that an employer ought to read real merit, real character, and that it is not fair to judge an applicant by superficial things like clothes. You may say a customer should not be prejudiced against a person or the house he represents because he is not a fine dresser. But that doesn't change facts. We go through life tagged with others' estimates of us, and it's hard to escape, even if unjust. Say what we will, our position in life, our success, our place in business, profession, or society depends very much on what others think of us. Our clothes, at first especially while making our way, play a big part in their judgment. They help locate us socially and professionally. In a way, our lives are largely shaped by others' opinions, and we cannot be indifferent. This doesn't mean lacking independence, but we cannot afford bad impressions. Suppose you are a young business person and every bank official in town is so prejudiced they won't extend credit. You need it badly, but knowing your own honesty gives inward satisfaction, not money. Their prejudice may be unfounded, but it blocks you powerfully. You may know you'd make the best mayor, but if most voters distrust you, no matter your worthiness, you won't win. Whatever your field, the impression you create makes a huge difference in your success. Every man has a letter of credit written on his face. We are our own best advertisements, and if we appear to disadvantage in any way, we are rated accordingly. You cannot overestimate your personal appearance's influence on your future. Other things equal, the well-dressed young man who puts up a good front gets the order or position, often over the more able but careless one. Most business people see neat, attractive appearance as evidence of good mental qualities. We express ourselves first in our bodies. A slovenly young man who neglects his bath will, as a rule, neglect his mind. To save money at the cost of cleanliness and self-respect is the worst extravagance. It's where economy turns from virtue to vice. In this competitive age, with survival of the fittest so ruthless, no one can ignore the smallest detail of dress, manner, or appearance that boosts success chances. The world takes you at your own valuation. Prospects are repelled or attracted by your look, and clothes shape your bearing and manners. The consciousness of clean linen is in itself a source of moral strength, second only to a clean conscience. A well-ironed collar or fresh glove has carried many a man through an emergency, where a wrinkle or rip would have defeated him. Our clothes exert a subtle mental influence we cannot escape. The sense of shabbiness or slipshodness erodes self-respect, saps energy, and detracts from ability. To dress properly, study colors and styles most becoming to you. Avoid profusion of rings or flashy jewelry. Skip loud neckties or anything conspicuous. These make bad impressions. An excellent dress rule comes from Polonius's advice to Laertes heading to the French royal court. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Polonius didn't mean extravagance, he meant dressing befitting one's rank as a Danish court representative. The salesperson represents his firm, and both he and it will be judged largely by his appearance, including clothes. For the apparel oft proclaims the man. Chapter 21. Finding Customers. Where there's a will, there's a way. The king is the man who can. Carlyle. The hardest problem for any business person is finding customers, that is, desirable and profitable ones. Identical to finding customers is the tougher challenge of finding salespeople who can locate the right kind. There's the rub: to find the man who can swim. The right salesperson solves customer finding and most sales problems for himself. How? Recently, a short, unprepossessing salesperson who reportedly wrote the largest amount of life insurance in one of the world's biggest companies answered this way. Some time ago, this salesperson went to Canada and, at an influential gathering, spotted a good prospect. He got the man's name and address, learned all about him, his habits and hobbies, including strong interest in a big hospital's success. Next day, he toured the hospital, then called on the prospect. "I've heard of your interest in hospital," he said. "I've been studying it too. It's doing splendid work, and I'd like to make a little contribution to its funds." He wrote a $250 check on the spot. That check opened the door to a $250,000 life insurance policy he soon wrote for the hospital enthusiast. The main trouble with most salespeople is they leave customer finding to the sales manager or company heads. They expect others to do all the thinking on where to go and how to proceed. Let me say right away, there is no ironclad rule for finding customers. Some call it plan and push, as in the example above. The Sheldon course in salesmanship lists 5 ways: advertising, window display, general or door-to-door canvas, selected list canvas, and following up leads or inquiries. Many books cover advertising forms and values. It's well known much money is wasted on poor advertising, but no successful business can skip the right publicity. Newspapers, magazines, billboards, streetcar cards, or novelties all depend on the product and market conditions. Tailor advertising to each territory. Salespeople quickly learn local conditions, seasons, and plan campaigns accordingly. For fixed territories and restricted buyer classes, it's simpler, but stay alert for new firms and potential customers. Specialty salespeople need more originality than in wholesale or retail, where the home office maps targets. Many waste time and money chasing leads across towns or cities. Often curiosity replies to alluring ads from non-buyers lacking means or intent. The salesperson with courage to approach cold, without leads, is the one who ultimately succeeds biggest. If you have something to sell, don't fear walking into a business and introducing yourself, stating the service you offer. The only reason to be in business is rendering service. Feel like the benefactor, even if they outrank you financially. In your specialty, you're the expert, so approach with ease and confidence. Big sales winners have initiative, originality, and poise to find customers quickly, cover maximum territory efficiently, and focus energy. Using the telephone for customers and appointments takes skill. Some say it's too easy to get turned down. Others say it saves car fare and time. Experience and ability guide its use. Likewise with letter writing. A letter might get tossed or rejected while a personal call lands a big order. Yet smart letters can secure business and save time, money, energy. The day may come when, if goods match claims, customers beat a path to our door. But human nature must change first. Personal visits remain key to closing sales. Department stores and specialty houses with quality reputations and fair prices draw crowds via ads, but need skilled salespeople to handle them properly. Finding a customer means not just showing goods, but inducing purchase and satisfying so thoroughly they repeat. That's why sales, finding customers, remains business's most vital department. To sum up, study every means to find customers. Keep thinking, the right ideas will come. Then act. Never wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is for losers. It never finds customers. Chapter 22. When you are discouraged. The person who has mastered keeping their mind filled with uplifting, encouraging thoughts, the optimistic, cheerful, hopeful kind, has solved one of life's great riddles. A young salesperson who has mastered himself and success's secret recently wrote from the field, "Yesterday it seemed as though everything was going against me. There appeared to be something wrong everywhere I called, and although I put up a most determined fight, failure after failure met me until very late in the evening. I had not then taken a single order, but I made up my mind that I could not go back to my boarding place until I had done a decent day's work. It was this resolution that saved the day, for I took 15 orders before I got home at 9 o'clock. If I had given up to my discouragement, I should simply have said to myself, 'What's the use? This day is gone and I might as well go home, take it easy, and make the best of it. But I said, no, young man, you are not going to bed tonight until you have done a good day's work. Many a time such a resolution has saved me when, otherwise, I would have made a miserable showing. I just make up my mind that no matter what attractions come in my way, no matter what discouragements I meet, I will conquer before the night, or I will stay up all night. I find that victory usually follows such a resolution. The prospect feels such determination from the salesperson. We radiate our moods, our discouragement, or courage. The person we approach senses what we feel, and when we come with a conqueror's spirit, victory shining on our face, we generally win. A notably successful salesperson says he made his first great hit after overcoming deep discouragement from losing his job. Starting his new role, one word rang in his mind: determination. He resolved not to return without an order, determined to make that day a red-letter one, to show his new employer his mettle, to convince prospects. He approached everyone with victory foremost in mind. One man afterwards told me, he said, that I overwhelmed him with my dead earnestness, won him by my determination. The mind's power, favorable or unfavorable, is tremendous. Giving way to discouragement loosens your grip. You start sliding. Everything seems to push you further down. Discouraged thoughts connect you to currents of misfortune, poverty, failure. You attract them, for failure breeds failure. Discouragement more discouragement. Poverty more poverty. To a salesperson, discouragement is fatal. It kills power and magnetism, removes inspiration. You lose self-confidence and others lose faith in you. A discouraged, pessimistic mind filled with failure thoughts makes sales nearly impossible. A little willpower controls moods, turning discouragement and depression into courage and hope. We all know how a child works itself into hysterics by self-pity. The more indulged, the louder the cries until hysteria sets in. When blue and discouraged, adults act like children. Temptation is to self-pity, then pile on gloomy mental pictures until mentality mourns. At the start of such a mood, it's easy to shut it off by resolutely shifting direction. Instead of deepening depression, tear down dark images, clear the mind, let in sunlight, joy, peace, happiness. These drive out gloom quickly and stay if invited, just as easily as negatives. When downhearted, mentally depressed, perhaps with dull business and sales fears, go somewhere alone for audible self-treatment. If not possible, do it silently or mentally, same form. Audible works better. Spoken words impress deeper than thoughts. Say something like, I am a child of God with a living connection to the great source and sustainer of all things, which nothing can sever. I have nothing to fear. I have strength and ability for whatever is necessary. I was made to succeed, to be happy. This is my birthright, and nothing can rob me. I will succeed in everything today. I will be cheerful and happy. I am happy because I was made for joy and gladness, not gloom and sadness. They are foreign to me, and I will have nothing more to do with them. Fill your mind with good, cheerful, uplifting thoughts, and feelings will align quickly. After minutes of autosuggestion, you'll marvel at the outlook shift. Astonishing how it braces you, swapping distressing blues for hopeful optimism. Some usually level-headed people do foolish things when discouraged or blue, acting on clouded, inexact brains instead of clear, balanced ones. Discouragement colors judgment. Whenever you see unusual success in any field, remember it stems from thinking oneself into position. Mental attitude and energy create it. What they represent comes from views on life, people, vocation, self. Above all, self-faith and inward vision of powers shape it. Self-depreciation marks the blues. Most of us underuse optimistic thinking and autosuggestion. Victim of moods? Dive into activities, take real interest in surroundings. Associate with people, be glad, happy, focus on others. Keep mind off self. Enter zestfully into family or others' plans. The expelling power of contrary emotion transforms the mind. Summon good moods to oust bad ones. I know a woman prone to blues who conquered them by singing bright songs or playing lively piano airs at onset. Don't let anything shake faith that you can conquer these peace robbers. You inherit abundance of good. With proper mental chemistry training, we could shift mind states like clothes. Opposite thoughts, emotions can't coexist, giving the key. Every sane person controls their mind, chooses thoughts. Good, encouraging ones neutralize depressing torture, restoring success and happiness birthright. Thank you for watching until the end. If you want to go deep down into the rabbit hole of marketing and persuasion, Click the link in the description where you will find many fundamental books about copywriting, psychology, and persuasion. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. See you in the next one.